We're joined now in the studio with our Human Rights Outreach Coordinator, Hadil El Khouly. Welcome to the show, Hadil. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Alia. Thank you for having me, you and Arnold.
So, Hadil, there has been a very heartwarming experience that we've had when we see the global support that we're receiving for our persecuted members of this religion. We've seen different human rights organizations standing up for our members. We've seen different media outlets speaking about it. Let's give the viewers a bit of a rundown on these people. Who are these people who are helping us right now?
So obviously, the case is an extreme case of persecution against a group who have done nothing except upholding their belief in the rise of the Prophet Muhammad, Abu Sadiq Abdullah Hashim, believing in him that he is the riser, that he is the awaited Mahdi, believing in the seventh covenant, and believing in his book, The Goal of the Wise. And because of this, they had to pay a really hard price, which is having to flee their homes with their children, with their families, not just fleeing persecution. On top of that, they are detained. On top of that, they are risking deportation and being sent back to their home countries. And during all that, they are subjected to violence, beating, children who are neglected for medical care. The case was immediately adopted by international and European human rights organizations such as Human Rights Without Frontiers and CAP, Freedom of Conscience, and also specifically the Border Violence Monitoring Network, which even a day before the events on the border, have published a statement addressing the Bulgarian authorities as well as Frontex on the EU borders to allow the group entry. And this was a letter, an open letter that was signed by 28 human rights organizations. So the huge work of the human rights organizations, as well as media, the result of that was that it was now taken on the next level, which was on the levels of intergovernmental organizations, specifically the United Nations and the OSCE and the European Parliament. So after the event at the United Nations, at the Human Rights Council, the session, the 53rd session, and the conference in Vienna at the OSCE, something historical really happened, which was a joint statement that was issued by the United Nations with more than 3 UN special rapporteurs and the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, issuing a statement calling on Turkey to stop the deportation of our members.
That was absolutely incredible. We were so amazed at that point and very, very grateful to everyone who's been involved in it, and also to you, Hadil, for being actively involved in this case from the very beginning till now.
The reason why it happened that way is only because of the rise of the family Muhammad Abu Sadiq alayhi salam. Because these persecuted people had a leader like him, an imam like him, a father like him, who doesn't sleep at night except to work day and night, think about it, he involved the 3 biggest international institutions on human rights. He got every single intergovernmental institution to talk about this case, and this is in less than 2 months. Yes. I mean, he had this case being the biggest case on asylum seekers now on the scene. And that was because, first and foremost, he put all the resources that are available to document every single step of the group. And so if you look at this, I mean, these are the results, but if you look at what he has done, so first and foremost, when does it happen that you have a whole satellite channel going and documenting that?
Live streaming it.
It was live streamed, where now anybody can go back and see that moment when this group approached the border to seek asylum. And that was first and foremost a protection for them. But it also was the key in opening a conversation now on what are the legal pathways that exist in the first place for asylum seekers, because obviously now there are none. And we showed that in that case. And I think what he has done in that way is absolutely phenomenal, and is not just for the members of our faith, but he has really opened the door for every oppressed person who has every right to lodge their claim for asylum and to find international protection. So in less than 2 months, we are now at this point where our members have this protection. As I said, I think this is absolutely historical.
It's historical, absolutely. And as always, Hadil, it's always a pleasure talking to you about these things. Thank you so much once again.